200 years ago, the Arc de Triomphe serves as memorial to soldiers who fought in the Napoleonic and World Wars. And it is here, amongst all this culture and history, that we find the CapGemini Tilstead office, the heart of the CapGemini group.
The Notre Dame Cathedral, the Champs-Élysées, the Louvre. We're in the city that's home to some of the most iconic architectural landmarks in the world. But it's this structure behind me, of course, that represents this country and its cultural significance throughout the world. Bonjour, I'm Abhimanyu Radhakrishnan.
And I'm Renee Chambers. Welcome to the grand finale of the CapGemini Super Techies Show Season 3.
That's right, we're coming to you from the city that epitomizes everything from style, beauty and romance to, of course, art, culture and science.
Welcome to Paris.
No better time to come in. The cold is just setting in. We can see a lot of colorful people around with a lot of colorful clothes, and what more to say, we are in the fashion capital of the world.
First thing is that I'm literally chattering. Now I don't know whether it is because of the cold or it is because of the show.
Our hard work and efforts are coming true, so it's awesome to be here. The weather, the cold out here, but still we are hot with the challenge.
It's an amazing experience coming to Paris. The fact that we're getting to see a lot of places around is like an icing in the cake here. It's a very lively place. The temperatures are here below 10 degrees, and if you see the warmth of the people, warmth of the places, it really makes you feel very high. I'm loving it.
So after 9 grueling technology challenges, including 6 league rounds and 3 semi-finals, we are down to the teams which will compete in the grand finale.
One of them stands a chance to walk away with the cash prize of $25,000 US and the crown title of this season's Super Techies. And those teams are Team OTB Thinkers, Team TechTree and Team Fractals.
Right, Renette, so we are going to leave this bustling city centre and head to the outskirts of Paris to CapGemini's learning hub, their global university at the beautiful Les Fontaines, the castle that's hosting this year's grand finale.
Welcome to the grand finale of the CapGemini Super Techies Show Season 3. It has been a tough journey to get here, but well done for each and every one of you for getting this far. Today we're in the wonderfully picturesque town of Chantilly at the majestic Les Fontaines, the CapGemini University.
So guys, I'm assuming all of you enjoyed your ride through the gorgeous French countryside. You've all worked very hard to be here. All 3 teams first had to go through your league rounds, then crack your semi-final challenge, and now all 6 of you are here at the grandest ever finale that this show has seen. This is La Fontaine on the outskirts of Paris, so well done guys.
Thank you.
This castle was built way back in the 19th century and was called Domaine de Fontaine.
Right, and now it's CapGemini's global learning hub where employees from all over the world come here to learn the skills that help them create solutions for many of the companies that we've seen on the show, and of course many others from around the world.
Now let's step inside to meet the man who will present you with your final challenge. Are you guys ready? Yes. Let's go.
present in over 100 countries, providing state-of-the-art aerospace, defense and security solutions. Safran is well on its way to creating a safer world through technology. Part of the Safran Group, Morpho has gone on to become the world leader in automated biometrics identification systems. Combining fingerprint, iris and face detection, this technology giant provides integrated security solutions to people all over the world. Morpho's forte lies in identity management, smart cards and detection systems, and the company stays ahead of the game through its consistent effort on research and development.
Innovation is part of our DNA. 20% of our workforce works in R&D, and the Safran Group spends more than $2 billion per year in R&D.
Safran is a high technology company, and basically we are in 3 areas of work: defense, aerospace and security.
In the recent years, 2 significant changes have taken place in an effort to address rural India. Businesses have started recognizing the potential of rural markets, and governments have started providing services to rural citizens. Each Indian village is a source of vital information and is seen as a marketplace. The challenge now is to create a sustainable technological model to foster a nationwide network of e-entrepreneurs for inclusive rural growth.
Hi. So the challenge is to create the framework of a technology solution that allows the front end, which is the last mile, data collection, transaction technologies, aggregation, analytics, in order to create an ecosystem for e-entrepreneurs for the rural context of India. And this is equally applicable to the rest of the world as well. So as you know, the needs of a rural economy are a little bit different than the urban context, but they equally need to be served. Each rural economy is a marketplace. These marketplaces have a context which we have to understand, appreciate, and find a technology framework so that they can be integrated into the urban context or the larger economy. It's like finding the fortune at the bottom of the pyramid. So good luck, all the best, and may the best team win. All the best.
So guys, the challenge has been put to you. You gentlemen have done very well up to now, but this is where it all counts. One last time, you've got to come up with a solution that will impress Safran, Morpho and the rest of the jury. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. All the best to you guys, and as our teams prepare their solutions for that final challenge, we'll get to know who finally is the winner on this season. Stay tuned to the finale of the CapGemini Super Techies show, Season 3. Welcome back. You're still watching our Season 3 finale here on the CapGemini Super Techies show. Remember, earlier we had Safran, Morpho offer our 3 finalists a great challenge to come up with a tech platform that enables inclusive growth. So how are our 3 teams going about cracking that? Let's have a look. Hi guys.
Hi.
How did it work?
Yeah, it's going on. We are thinking.
But let me interrupt your work and just ask you about Paris. How's it been so far?
It's awesome.
Right. What do you think of the challenge? It's pretty different from what you've seen in the previous rounds.
Right. It's enormous. It contains so many points to think about. We are actually overwhelmed about it.
Sorry, how's the interaction with the mentor been?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, he gave some of the insights which we would have forgotten. So it helped us in thinking through it and thinking some more ideas. So that was really great, helpful.
So what about targeting rural customers? It's a different mindset because it's not something that you and I can relate to very easily, given that we live in cities and we have a very different problem set, like what to buy tonight on an e-commerce site, or where to order food from. More basic requirements, I guess, in the villages.
So given a chance, we would have definitely gone and stayed in a village for some time to experience that needs. Since we cannot do that, we reached out to our friends and relatives who are actually doing business in villages and rural areas, and we came to know what exactly are the demands, what exactly they feel the need of to buy things.
And similarly, we also tried to reach out to some of the corporates as to what kind of data they would want, so that they can market or give some or sell some of the products, so that we can complete that value chain. That would be helpful for us.
I remember initially when the Aadhaar project had launched, there was a lot of concern with people about whether their data is secure or not, whether it's safe to let data into the system. So even from a visibility point of view, this security component will be very critical for the success.
After all, whenever you launch something new, everyone tries to resist for that change. But once you think, what is in it for me? And once you get that answer, okay, this is some value addition which I'm getting, then people start disclosing. So that's another area and some of the thought on which we are thinking.
Great. So Team Fractals, all the best.
Thank you.
You guys seem to be working really hard, but you guys seem to have some great thoughts as well. So hopefully we'll see you doing a great job at the finale.
Sure. Thanks.
Hi guys.
Hey,
How are you today?
Good.
Enjoying Paris?
Yes. Yeah,
Welcome. Welcome to Paris and to Nov2014, guys. It's been such a struggle.
Yes. Thanks a lot for that.
It's such a battle, and congratulations for being here. What do you think of Paris?
Oh, it's much more than what I was really thinking of. So much colorful and such a beautiful landscaping, and the architecture, I really love it.
Of course. And you like the university?
Yes, we did. I think it's a very quite nice place to actually brainstorm and think about solutions.
Yes.
Exactly. So guys, you were given your last challenge, your last and final challenge. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, I think challenge is predominantly having a new network of ecosystem where e-infopreneur or the Gramin Udyami is probably the center of it, and it's a vast challenge, and it's quite interesting.
So you guys won a lot of the rounds in our semi-finals and in the beginning of the show, and you beat a lot of teams. Tell me, this challenge that you were given now, is this a little bit more challenging? Does it make you a little bit more nervous because there's so much at stake?
Yes, I think each challenge has its own uniqueness, but from this perspective, if you compare it with the other two, yes, this looks more challenging because none of the stakeholders are defined. We are trying to define all those stakeholders. In other cases, we had well-defined well-defined stakeholder organization looking out for solutions, but here we are trying to define the solution for different stakeholders. So that's where the challenge is.
So tell me, what are your thoughts about Sanjeev?
I think it was really nice interacting with him, and the kind of focus he has and the kind of passion he has towards innovation is something which gets a lot of our attention also, and that's something which is really needed in India, and this case is more about that. So it was really interesting meeting him.
Well, Team Tech Tree, you have come such a far way, such a strong team. Tough teams to beat, but I wish you best of luck on your challenge. You have great mentorship behind you, and I wish you all the best. Fingers crossed, right?
Thank you.
Thanks, team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think, yes, okay. And after that, suppose I take 16. So that leaves me 4.
Hi guys.
Hi.
I've come to interrupt your very intense conversation. But first, no work. How's the Paris ride been so far?
It's been great. Today, you've seen a lot of stuff around in Paris. It helped calm our nerves to a large extent.
Right.
I was very happy after moving through Paris, seeing the wonderful places around Paris.
Lots of inspiration.
Yeah. What I would have heard or read about, seeing it in person is an altogether different experience.
Right. You'd have seen a lot of historical, out-of-the-box thinkers all around the city. But what do you think of the challenge, very quickly?
Being the final challenge, it's very open-ended, but spot on with respect to the times that we are in, and I think that would be the way ahead for the whole economy. So to that extent, it's a great opportunity as well as a tough enough challenge to motivate us.
I guess it's a very relevant challenge considering the context in which India is placed today. You got our respected Prime Minister Narendra Modi talking about smarter villages, is talking about bringing a change, and it is information which is going to lead this change. So the information asymmetry which you normally see between the rural and urban, probably this is somewhere targeting that gap.
That's true. I think here we are treading a careful path somewhere wherein we are making all our efforts to protect the privacy of the end user data, as well as trying to leverage that data for the benefit of everyone, not just the corporates but the community itself. So we see that as a good enough incentive where we not just benefit the corporates but the whole community and every individual who is contributing to this initiative.
So for the finals, is there some pressure to think of something very dramatically different and maybe even risky, or are you guys going to play it safe? What's the strategy?
In all our existing challenges, we have lived up to our name, where we have given innovative solutions. Here also we are trying to get into that spot, but again, this challenge is unlike any other challenge we have faced so far, and hence we are still nervous with whatever we are recommending.
So I hope you guys find that balance. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with in that finale. All the best.
Thanks a ton. Thanks a ton.
Well, all three teams seem to have their own take on the challenge and are confident in their approaches. Stay tuned, you are watching the grand finale of the CapGemini Super Techies Show Season 3.
Welcome back. You're still watching Season 3 of the CapGemini Super Techies show, and this of course is our grand finale from Nov2014, which is the CapGemini University. We've got our teams ready here and we are about to get into the business end of this finale. We're going to have the toss to decide the order of presentation, but before that, teams, we've got somebody very special for all of you to meet. He's Philippe Grandjean, who's Marketing and Communications Director and of course the University President of CapGemini. Welcome, Philippe.
Hi Ronette, hi Abby. I thank you very much for having invited me on the set of Super Techies show, and I am very pleased, very proud to be with you and to welcome our finalist teams. My first message goes to each of you who have done very well to reach this stage of the competition against teams from many countries. Again, congrats for that. I'm delighted, as Abby mentioned, to welcome you here in Les-Fontaines, in the beautiful town of Chantilly, very near Paris. This place and CapGemini University are strong assets for our clients. Indeed, it gives our colleagues the possibility to meet, learn, and collaborate to develop their talent. Hosting the final here in France, where CapGemini's group has been originated almost 50 years ago, is yet another step towards making this competition truly global. Since the start, I was thinking at bringing the show global. I have a dream. Maybe you and your peers one day will be competing with teams from all over the world. Today is the key on the last mile of the season, already a successful one. A recipe made of exciting ingredients, young professionals, young graduates, international brands and CapGemini experts all actors of this great techie show's journey. And you are the ones who have a big exciting challenge in front of you, and I wish you well for this. For me, you have already won. However, and as we say in French, que le meilleur gagne. Good luck.
Philippe, once again, thanks so much for hosting us over here at Nov2014, and thanks so much for coming on the show. Now, as you've been seeing throughout this season of the show, we get our teams before they go out there to present, to interact with an expert mentor from CapGemini. And for this grand finale, we had Franck Rivery, who is the global head of cybersecurity for CapGemini. So let's see what he had to say about our three finalists.
I do think that the Saffron Challenge is really exciting because it combines two very interesting dimensions. The first dimension is what is called infopreneur. An infopreneur is an entrepreneur selling information on the internet. It's a new trend in the world. It can complete existing media, but it could also completely replace them in the future. This trend is a very important one. A unique identification number based on biometric technologies. They record fingerprints and iris to avoid fake identities. This project is a revolution. It's a technological breakthrough. And I hope that the three teams during their presentation will be able to show how they can leverage it. The unique ID numbers can be leveraged by any online service. And obviously, the ADAR project is a key foundation within the security solution of the whole project. The challenge of the three teams today is to present clearly their generic platform, but it's also to highlight through concrete examples how a platform for rural infopreneurs can change India and change the world in the future. I wish all the best to the three teams.
Great, so our mentor Franck Rivery had very good things to say about you guys, but now Ronette, one last time, it's over to you.
Thank you, Abhi. Teams, I'm sure that this looks very familiar to you. Well, we're here in Paris. It's the grand finale, so for one last time, we will do our famous CapGemini draw. I would ask one member of each team to please get up and draw a card. Whoever picks the spade decides the order of presentation for the grand finale today. Guys, without any further ado, we wish you best of luck. Please draw your cards. So Team Tech Tree, once again you have the deciding factor of which team will face the jury first. What will your decision be?
We'll go with the same sequence. Yeah, we've decided. I think we will go first, followed by Team Fractals, and lastly Team OTP.
Well, that sounds good. Is there any reason for this particular order?
Nothing very specific. I think we want to do it first, so nothing really specific on the sequence, but anyways, we wanted to do the first presentation.
Okay, well guys, you're very brave to go in first and to face the jury first. So Abhi, are we ready to go?
Right, Ronette, without further ado, we're going to move from the lovely chateau to our finals venue, where Team Tech Tree, as you heard, is going to go first. This is edge of the seat stuff, so don't go anywhere. You're watching the CapGemini Super Techies show, Season 3 finale.
After 9 grueling rounds, the remaining 3 teams were flown to Paris, where they received their final challenge, which was to create a sustainable technological model to foster a nationwide network of e-entrepreneurs for inclusive rural growth. The final order of presentation was also decided, with Team Tech Tree going first, followed by Team Fractals and Team OTB Thinkers making their case at the end. Which one of these 3 teams will take home the $25,000 cash prize and become the CapGemini Super Techies of the Year?
You're watching the grand finale of the CapGemini Super Techies show Season 3, and all those weeks of hard work, league rounds and semi-finals have finally come down to this. 3 teams, 1 challenge, and that one solution that will decide our grand winner.
Yes, well, the teams are anxiously awaiting, but before we begin, let's introduce the jury that's been put up to the hard task of judging the final presentation of the season.
We'll of course start with Sanjeev Shriya, who's designed today's challenge. You've already met him on the show. Sanjeev is the Managing Director of Smart Chip and Syscom, both subsidiaries of Morpho, which is of course part of the Safran Group, one of France's largest conglomerates. Sanjeev, thanks for joining us on the show and designing that great challenge for our finale. We've also got Patrick Nicolet, who is CEO of Infrastructure Services and the head of LATAM at CapGemini. Patrick, thanks so much for joining us on the show. And finally, we've got Salil Parikh, who is CEO of Application Services One and of Sogeti, both CapGemini group companies. Thanks, Salil, for being on the show. So this is a tough one. Sanjeev, you've already interacted with our teams when you first gave them the challenge. How do you think they responded to it? What are you expecting today?
Well, I'm expecting some great solutions. The teams are really promising. Their CVs in the background and the interaction that we've had tells a lot about them. And they are well positioned, and I'm really looking forward to the challenge and the answers.
Patrick, what did you think of that challenge that Sanjeev put to the teams? Exciting solutions on the cards, you think?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting because it relates to the improvement of the life of millions of people, but it entails thus complexity. And it will be very interesting to see which dimension the teams will privilege and who can then best blend it together to have the winning one.
Salil, Aadhaar, of course, is something that put India on the world tech map. You've got everybody looking at us in terms of the scale of that project. So that's something that you think will inspire some interesting solutions?
I think so. I think the challenge really looks at how rural India can change. And with Aadhaar, we saw that it's possible when you apply leading technology to a large-scale problem. Right. So my expectation is not just Aadhaar, but things of that nature will come to light from the solutions.
Right.
That's a tall order, but will the teams be able to fulfill these expectations? Before we begin with our final presentations here, we have Aruna Jayanti, the CEO of CapGemini India, to say a few words to our teams.
Hello everyone. Thank you for being a part of this exciting show. To the 3 teams here today, congratulations first of all on making it through this long and hard journey. It's been well fought and well played. Today's challenge is quite an exciting one, very important one for India, truly touches the heart of rural India, and we're counting on all of you to come up with really exciting and good solutions.
Well, let's hope the teams give it their best. It's time to begin with the presentations. Team Tech Tree, please make your way to the floor.
Well, Team Tech Tree from Bangalore, guys, whenever you're ready, you may present to the jury.
What we are proposing is for any rural market to sustain, there are a few points that need to be considered. And these points are, first is the technology reach. So with technology reach, what we are seeing is there is a lot of advancement in technology in terms of battery technology or in terms of solar energy which is being used, or even it may be Internet of Things, be it Android, be it a soil-based testing device or supersonic devices which could be used in the rural market area with a very economical model. Secondly, we are looking at creating mobile wallets. So these wallets have been already successful in some of the countries, and we look at transforming the cash economy to the digital economy using these mobile wallets. And this would also bring in a lot of auditability into the system. The third important point that we are looking is Aadhaar-based biometric system, which would bring in a lot of transparency and security and create a trusted network in the rural scenario.
So once we look at this ecosystem, we would recommend that it is a public-private model, so that the chances of all the stakeholders coming on board is much higher. When we look at this marketplace, we would look at this marketplace to support various different business models. For example, let us look at an infopreneur. An infopreneur or a gram udyami would have some basic remuneration to collect data on a specific time period, and then also and then continues for a longer time. And then there is special remuneration which happens for specific data needs from organizations, or the organization could be a government agency or otherwise private agency.
So once the data being collected in the marketplace, it then becomes a very useful information in terms of when we aggregate the data and we bring in the analytics layer on top of it. There's a lot of value which it generates. For example, if you look at having an Aadhaar based authentication, and every transaction that authentication happens with the infopreneur, we know that who is coming to the infopreneur and what kind of information he is sharing. So this, once it becomes a digital record, using big data and analytics, we will be in a position to generate very valuable reports which then could be useful for government or NGOs or private sector organizations to understand what is the kind of demand that is coming in from these areas and what are the tastes of and behavior of people in the rural area. So they could customize products which are more suited in the rural environment.
The whole, idea of a gram udyami or a infopreneur, we look at it as he needs to become the locus of economic activity in the community, and only then he will be able to collect and disseminate information.
Well, thank you very much, Team TechTree. That was a fairly comprehensive presentation, and you touched on many points. So I'd like to open the floor to our judges to grill our first finalist. Sanjeev, any questions for Team TechTree?
Yes. Do you see it to be a push model or a pull model?
What we have looked in is it's kind of a dual mechanism. Here we are looking at a continuous feedback that goes into the marketplace, but at the same time it is a push which needs to be initially done, because when the infopreneur, when we start with this particular approach, infopreneur, for him to become a locus of economic activity, he would need to attract rural people to come and start disseminating information to him. So that is only possible if he is doing a value add for the rural people.
Feasible in the Indian rural context, and any questions?
I think it's very clear to understand your description. A question on the technology infrastructure. Do you find the elements you describe at the level you describe, is that a scalable infrastructure for what we need, or what are the constraints you see with it?
The technology landscape which we are looking at with Internet of Things and how the data is being collected using, it could be for a longer time duration when the data is going to be collected for a specific, a case. For example, let's say for tuberculosis, the government of India spends a lot of funds for just collect that data. So you will have a dedicated app to do that. We are trying to keep it very simple in the sense this is all available. You can do it. The only other risk which we see as of now is from a Internet of Things, wherein the regulatory framework is still not very clear as to how do we use and what do we do with that.
Sanjeev, very quickly, just for the interest of our viewers as well, you've been a pioneer in this space. Is rural India sort of ready for cloud-based authentication? Will it be that easy to get biometrics, in distant areas easily authenticated?
This is what Aadhaar has taught the world. The fact is that, and it is not only in biometrics. In the past as well, we have seen that in India or other countries where their legacy systems don't exist, you actually jump technologies. So the practical applicability is a function of technology, a business case, and some good luck.
Right, that's something you'll have to grade them on by the end of the show. But before we get to that, we've got two more teams following TechTree on this finale, all set to make their presentations, but that's after a very short break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the grand finale of the CapGemini Super Techies show Season 3.
Welcome back to the CapGemini Super Techie Show Season 3. It's time to welcome our second team, Team Fractals, to make their pitch to the jury. Team Fractals, please take the floor.
So we've had Team TechTree already present to the jury. You guys are next. Whenever you're ready, the judges are all yours.
As a solution to the problem, we envision an ecosystem that consists of different entities that thrive on mutual benefits. The first such entity is the rural region, that is the prime source of information. To capture the information, we mobilize local inhabitants, institutions, as well as smart devices such as automated weather station, automated recording of attendance of school-going children coupled with their health, as well as wearable devices that are capable of capturing the movement of individuals. These wearable devices do not depend on smartphones but can be plugged into an information kiosk to transfer information. These information kiosks actually act as the exchange hub for information and will be found at key locations in a villages. Next, we will also plan to launch a rural helpline that will address the queries and concerns of villagers. One important section of this helpline will be the Mother Assist program that will provide expert assistance to the expecting mothers. Another thing is that we will also plan to launch a do-it-yourself soil fertility test kit that will be of very useful use to the farmer so that he can check the quality of the soil himself. To incentivize the infopreneurs, we will credit some amount of monetary benefit for every amount of information exchange at the information kiosk. Let us say for 100 KB of data uploaded, we will credit 10 paisa to his UID.
And all this data coming from different systems is collected and validated by UID, that is unique identifier, and biometric verification. So this data gets sits on one single platform which we call as Manthan, because it is capable of churning the data into actionable insights.
Okay, short and sweet. In the middle, Salil, I was just trying to do a mental calculation of if I uploaded a 1 GB HD video, how much would I get back into my wallet? But
the prices of data come down.
Right, absolutely, which is why that was very interesting. But Salil, this time you want to go first. Any questions for Team Fractals?
So thanks for the summary that you presented. In terms of leveraging the technology that you referenced, is there a situation where you have to start with 1 or 2 states, or is this something you can roll out nationally the way you've described it?
No, so we will adopt the phased approach. Yeah, it's always beneficial to have pilot kind of project and start with a phased kind of approach where we start with a district and expand it to a zonal level and then state level, and then from state we can implement it on a national level.
Patrick, any questions for the Fractals?
Yeah, we see more or less the technical architecture. Where I am not yet clear enough is about how you onboard the communities, because if you want to get the momentum and enough traffic and volume into it, what is the compelling proposition? I didn't hear much about the individual and then the community. How do you engage with them? Is the kiosk the only answer, or do you have something else in mind?
So at the same time, while we are implementing this solution, we will organize huge campaigns to raise awareness about this system so that people will come to know the actual benefits of the system. So we will portray ourselves as the well-wishers of villagers, where we will encourage them to upload their information, and in return they will get many times more benefits out of this.
Well, so Team Fractals has just about survived the grilling of our jury members. So well done, guys. We'll know your scores very soon, but thanks for joining us on this show. It's been great having you.
Same here. Thank you.
One more team left. Let's see what our jury makes of their approach. Team OTP Thinkers, can we please have you in the presentation area?
Okay, guys, you're the final team on the finale, so no pressure at all. Team Tech3 and Fractals have been there, done that. You've got one last chance to impress the jury. All the best whenever you're ready.
The case as we see it is about a new age emerging rural India. India is the food basket for a large portion of the globe. This also makes it a potentially huge reservoir of field intelligence. Now, can we use this intelligence? Can an infopreneur come and monetize this information and feed back the benefits back to the rural community? The answer to this was yes. And that's where we went about searching for a framework which would ideally sit in this space, which would tie in the rural and the rest of the ecosystem. And that's why we named our model as TIES, that is TIES, which essentially stands for a technologically enabled information, economic and social model for a rural connected India. I stands for the information model, which is largely about helping an infopreneur identify opportunities which keep emerging. The second part of our model is the economic model. What it essentially does is it tries to understand the flows associated with goods and services. It tries to understand the existing gaps and tries to position elements which could possibly capture the information at its various information life cycles. We would be introducing concepts like master infopreneur here, who's the one who owns this entity, a community infopreneur who contributes as information within this ecosystem. The third part of our model is the technology layer, which we believe is the most critical part of the model because this is a technology business. What we have done is we have just tried to ape the information cycle model and put the technology elements on it. Right at the bottom is where we are looking at the information capture, which is typically handled by the community infopreneurs. We are positioning new next generation technology like Internet of Things, biometrics, which will bring about effective and secure capture of information along with the traditional modes of mobility and the kiosk based capture. So what we are suggesting is a master infopreneur right at the top of the hierarchy. Master infopreneur's role is largely to set up the entire infrastructure which he can possibly sell as infrastructure as a service. He also is responsible for setting up the processes, the security system and the applications which are required to run the business operationally. Obviously, the information layer also becomes a part of this because the master infopreneur is the one who owns the information.
The idea has always been to apply this model to any vertical industry to create a business case out of it. To that extent, we have picked the livestock industry in India. India has one of the world's largest population of livestock and yet delivers one of the world's lowest yields in terms of milk output. And the causes for this is lack of timely information on diseases, lack of timely information about when the cattle goes into heat, because that's how they miss the fertility cycle. And finally, the breed that cattle breed that's in India is of very low quality, and if the insemination is planned, he'll be able to get the better move the quality of the breed to a better quality, thereby increasing the output from anywhere from 30% to 50%. To that extent, what we propose is a system wherein each cow will be given a collar. This collar will keep capturing the sounds, the moving made by the cows, and based on that, we'll be able to identify the health issues, eating patterns, as well as when it gets into heat.
In conclusion, we would want to state that the TIE model is universally applicable because it's a model for innovation. It's a model wherein an infopreneur can decide which use case he wants to tap. So we see this entire infopreneur exchange in its very mature state getting to a level which will really give India its competitive edge.
Patrick, any questions for them? Very comprehensive presentation.
At the heart of your model, if I understood it well, there is a master entrepreneur where the investment will be. What I have not understood is what barriers to entry in your model this master entrepreneur can build.
The barriers to entry for other players would be, firstly, the first mover advantage where the master entrepreneur goes and engages with the community, making them a part of this revenue sharing model, thereby earning their trust. At the same time, partnership with NGOs and governments will facilitate better service delivery to the villages. To that extent, the whole ecosystem will be aligned towards the first master entrepreneur, and hence that will act as a huge barrier for the second rung of guys.
Sanjeev?
Have you given some thought to the economics of the entrepreneur? So at the village level, how do you think that this model will make him earn enough to remain an entrepreneur or go back to being a worker?
In the calculations which we worked out, where we calculated a 3-year break even, wherein we have taken around 100 villages, each village consisting around 500 villages. In that model, we discovered by just taking up a use case of artificial insemination and milk production, a farmer who's having around 2 to 3 cows or buffaloes, he's able to earn around 25 to 35,000 on an annual basis as pure profit. And purely from the breeding, he's able to earn $1 lakh every year. So this is additional income in a country where per capita income or annual capita income would range anywhere between 45,000 to 80,000.
Thanks so much, OTB Thinkers, for a great presentation. Lived up to your name once again with some out-of-the-box ideas. And now it's just waiting for our judges to give the final verdict. Thank you.
Our 3 finalists have made their presentations. Now, their fate rests in the hands of Sanjeev Shriya, Salih Parekh and Patrick Nicolay. Which team is going to be this season's winner? We'll find out after this break. Welcome back to the CapGemini Super Techies Show Season 3 finale. All our teams have made their presentations and are now awaiting the results.
That's right, Ronette. It's time now for our 3 jury members to score our finalists on 5 parameters. And as through this entire season, these 5 are problem comprehension, innovation and ideation, the feasibility of the solution presented, presentation skills, of course, and that final Q&A round that you just saw. Members of the jury, whenever you're ready, please begin.
Well, the jury has locked their final scores, but before we declare our winners, we are joined by the university students of ECE in Paris.
In fact, if you've been watching this season of the show, you'll recognize Team Wink and Talk, who battled with our finalist team Tech3 in the New York Times Challenge. Guys, thanks for joining us. Welcome back to the show once again.
Let's talk to our jury and hear what their thoughts are on our teams today. Patrick, what are your thoughts on the teams and the presentation that they delivered?
There was a high level of energy, and that's what we expect from the younger people, and a lot of dedication. Now, if I would have to give one advice on the approach, the big challenge, I said it at the beginning, was the complexity of the question, very complex. And most of the team, they tried to cover everything, and you should not. You should present what is the coherence of the solution, what is it that you want to address, the coherence of your solution, and then pick one thing, one focus, that we get the message and understand, because they are competing, how they want to differentiate from each other. It's not like at school, they don't have to answer, they have to win. And that was the difficulty, I believe, with the complexity, though it was very exciting, but of the question.
Right. Salil, any feedback for our teams?
Again, I think the approach taken by the teams was really comprehensive. For me, it was very interesting to see the different ideas that came up, talking about rural India, different technologies. The main area where I would suggest some improvements were really focusing on a simple approach to a complex problem, but find a way to do it in a solution that simplifies the problem that you're trying to solve and then scales it up to give us the benefit. But overall, I thought it was a very comprehensive session.
Sanjeev, any ideas to take back in the real world?
The challenge was complex. I mean, trying to build a solution, a technological framework that encompasses the whole of India or a rural context. I thought that was done for the reason that, if you have a complex problem, you have to find simple solutions. Most of the teams understood the problem, so that was good. They understood the issues that we were trying to make them understand or make them realize. But complex problems have to be, dealt with using what we call the KISS principle. Keep it simple and stupid. Keep it something which is easily understood and scalable. So sometimes when you make it very complex, the scalability suffers.
Thanks, Sanjeev. On that note, in fact, I'm not going to delay it any longer, either for our audiences watching or for the teams waiting expectantly. Remember, each judge marked every team out of a total of 50 points, which means with 3 judges, we have a total score out of 150. And our second runner-up on the finale with a total score of 94 is Team Fractals. Well done, guys, but hard luck. Our first runner-up on Season 3 is Team Tech3 with 103 points, which means our winner for this finale is Team OTB Thinkers with 108 points. Well done, guys. Congratulations, guys. Terrific job. Do join us here on stage to collect your check.
How does it feel?
It's been a great journey so far, and it's just icing on the top, right?
$25,000.
He's doing it in Paris.
You're blowing it in Paris, or?
Absolutely. Speaking of which, let's get that winner's check right here on stage. $25,000 is what our winning team, OTB Thinkers, get. I'd like to ask the jury members to hand that over. And here you are, ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the CapGemini Super Techies Show Season 3. Congratulations once again, Team OTB Thinkers. Thanks so much, members of the jury. We've had a great Season 3 of the CapGemini Super Techies Show, and all through this season, in fact, we've seen some very talented people from all over the world come here and present solutions that prove what a dramatic impact technology can have on the business landscape.
Our journey for Season 3 ends here, and it was only fitting that it be held at the beautiful Nov2014 on the outskirts of Paris. Thank you for staying with us this season. From the wonderful town on the outskirts of Paris, Chantilly, we bid you au revoir.